Yes, here we are. Revolutionary greetings, all of you, my dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. African countries continue to be divided. Rwanda has announced its withdrawal from the Economic Community of Central African States, ECCAS, accusing the neighboring country, Democratic Republic of Congo, of instrumentalizing the bloc with the support of some member states. Rwanda is joining other African countries which withdrawn from regional bloc, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, which withdrawn from ECOWAS. So, my dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, do you see a united Africa in the near future? So, my dear lovely family, I don't see the life of these regional bodies. These regional bodies, ECOWAS, whatever you call it, ECCAS, East African Community, SADC, if our leaders are not going to examine themselves and look very keenly the vision and the mission of these regional bodies are going to die, are going to collapse, because some member countries in those regional bodies, they saw these regional bodies as a useless entity, as a useless organization, as a useless body, because they are not working for the interest of their member states. So you saw what happened to ECOWAS. ECOWAS was big. Now ECOWAS is shrinking. The same to Economic Community of Central African States. It was big. Now Rwanda has withdrawn. And maybe Rwanda will withdraw even from East African Community. Soon we will hear something like that. SADC, the same. What's the purpose of our founding father to create these regional bodies? They have their own purposes. Do these regional bodies work for those purposes? And why we have allowed other people to take control of our regional bodies instead of being owned by member states? You remember what happened to ECOWAS? Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso blamed ECOWAS for being used by France. And now you see in Rwanda blaming ECCAS for being used by Democratic Republic of Congo. And we know that Congo, behind the Democratic Republic of Congo, has these powerful nations because they are beneficiaries of minerals in DRC. So Congo itself is not as Congo. Behind of Congo, there's these powerful nations that are pushing Congo. Congo do this, Congo don't do this, Congo go to the summit, don't go to the summit. That's what they're doing. Because they want minerals in DRC. So these regional bodies must be careful. ECOWAS, here ECCAS, East African Community, SADC, even African Union itself, they have no longer lives. If they don't change the way they are doing, they are going nowhere. Today they are surviving because of generation. The generation that are in leadership are old men and women of 60s and 70s. But I'm sure the current generation that are coming, I don't believe if these regional bodies are going to exist. These regional bodies are going to be abolished by young men and women who will come, because it looks like it is a group of old politicians, old leaders are where they meet and discuss. It is not discussing the interest of the people. Ask yourself what these regional bodies are doing to make sure that Africans are going to get jobs. Do you see industries, ECOWAS industry? Have you seen ECCAS industry? African Union own big industry, own resources. Yesterday I shared the video. The former African Union Commission chair lamented that African leaders are not contributing money to support African Union. It is the European Union who is supporting, and other member countries outside there are those who are contributing money to African Union. So, do you see these regional bodies and the continental bodies are going to survive? Please share with me. Maybe you have more idea on what is going on. But for me, I don't see these regional bodies are going to survive 50 years to come. Many of them will be collapsed, will be died. We need to start afresh. If we have failed to fulfill the desire and the aim of creation of these regional bodies, I don't think they're going to exist. So, what does this mean? Yesterday, I shared the video of how African Union is failing to be funded by African leaders. And I said, do we need to continue with African Union? Or we need to form another continental body that will unite Africans? The same question I'm going to ask, do we need to continue with these regional bodies that looks like are useless? ECOWAS failed some member states. Now you see the ECCAS, Economic Community of Central African States, also failed. Members are starting withdrawn. So do we need to continue with these regional blocks? Yes, we have SADC. Maybe it is doing well. We have East African Community that also has failed to bring peace in DRC. Will Rwanda withdraw from East African Community? Why these regional bodies looks like political regional bodies? It is not an instrument to help African states. It is owned by African leaders instead of being owned by citizens. You have seen what happened to ECOWAS. It was a shameful thing to see that ECOWAS is the first regional body that mobilized the soldiers to invade fellow African member states. Now you see what happened to them. If you come to Rwanda, the same. And I didn't hear anything from this ECCAS, Economic Community of Central African States, talking up anything about when European Union threatened some European Union countries threatened Rwanda to sanction Rwanda. Have you heard anything from this regional body? So it is useless. That's why countries such as Rwanda has decided to withdraw. So, my dear lovely family, I think we need to examine ourselves. We need to change ourselves from our inner heart of our body. We need to change. We are going nowhere. These regional bodies are being manipulated, are being controlled by other people. That's why they're not fulfilling the dreams of many African countries. So, we are talking about unity. I don't see the United Africa in the near future. But it can be if we young people, the current generation, these headers has failed. If you look on this ECCAS, the Economic Community of Central African States, you find many old men and women there. The same to ECOWAS, you find Mr. Tinubu, Fatala, and others, too old. So we need a fresh blood. We need young people to take lead. I don't know what these bodies are doing. What's the purpose of these regional bodies? Because they have failed everywhere. If it is about peace, a few days I shared the video of Nigerian chief of defense talking nonsense that he want to build fences. So just those are ideas from ECOWAS members. They want to build fences in their borders to because of threat. Is that an idea that can be provided by professional people? That at this time, at this era of technologies where people are using drones. So if you listen, these herders and these old men, you understand that they need to give opportunities to young men and women. Africans need to move forward. Now you see, instead of moving toward integration, working together, uniting, we are going to division. And yet we are championing Africa Continental Free Trade Areas. Are we going to achieve Africa Continental Free Trade Areas? We are talking about free movement of people and goods. Are we going to achieve if these countries are withdrawing from these regional bodies? Maybe we expected these regional bodies have to start having their own currencies, are starting to allow free movement of people and goods. But now you see members are withdrawing themselves because these bodies is owned by other people, is useless. And one day I said, take this from me. People are using Congo to destabilize Africa. And leadership in Democratic Republic of Congo, maybe they're being used without knowing what they're doing. The same to some African. You know, these people, they know how to play with Africans. In every region, they have put their puppets, they have put their people who is manipulating others, who is disturbing others. That's why you remember that if you are a good historian, when Kwame Nkrumah and his fellow founding fathers came with the idea of United Africa, the same people, colonialists, divided African leaders. They installed people who will oppose the idea of Kwame Nkrumah. Even though they saw Kwame Nkrumah is so powerful, has powerful idea, they overthrown him from power. That's what they have been doing for many years. And if you look very keenly, you will understand in every region, whether in East African region, they have their own people who is working for them. If you go to the southern part of the continent, they own someone who is working for them. If you go to the ECOWAS, West African, they have someone who is working for them. If you go to the northern part, when leaders such as Gaddafi resisted, they removed him. You see, if you come to the central part of our mother continent, Africa, they own someone who is destabilizing and who will not agree as African what we have agreed as Africans. So they have installed their people who will make sure that the desire of African continent is not going to be achieved. So I'm saying this and I'm trying to tell my brothers and sisters in Democratic Republic of Congo, because we have seen many times Congo is a target of many powerful countries. Why? Because Congo is the richest resources. When we talk about unity, you saw in East African community, Congo is a member of Eastern African community. When East African community deployed troops to bring peace, Congo was told, remove them. Congo removed those troops. But today we are talking about Congo asking United States of America to install soldiers to help to fight to bring peace. Yes, it's a good idea. But do you see, is it reliable? Do you see it's going to achieve? I saw before President Biden quit or retired, I saw him visited Lobito Corridor, where the Lobito Railway is connecting Democratic Republic of Congo, some parts in Zambia, and also in Angola to the Atlantic Ocean. You can understand. Try to connect dots. Those who built that Lobito Corridor and the Lobito Port don't expect they will want Congo to be at peace. They will want Africa to be united because they know our unity is our strength. So I'm telling my brothers and sisters in DRC, let us be careful. You are being used. You are being used. Be careful. They removed your Lumumba purposely because Lumumba is a different man at that time. So since then, you didn't get any leader such as Lumumba. And to take time to get in another Lumumba because of the current situation that we have, because a good people is not wanted in your country. So let us come together as Africans. Of course, have asked that, do we need to continue with these regional bodies? If you still believing in these regional bodies, you may share with us your opinions. But for me, I think we need as Africans to sit down, to think as afresh what we can do to move out of this situation. Many regional bodies are going to collapse because all of them are useless. So, my dear lovely family, let us not speak for too long, but that is what has happened in Rwanda. Rwanda has announced its withdrawal from Economic Community of Central African States, ECCAS. After that, let me say stay in power. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa.